My big idea required a telephone call. Hello? Will you please call Miss Harrington to the phone? Yes, Miss Eve Harrington. That was a cold weekend we spent in the country, but somehow we staggered through. Late Monday afternoon, my big idea went into operation. Its purpose was to make Margot miss her performance so that Eve would have to take her place. All I did was drain the gas tank of the car. My timing was perfect. Margot missed her train, and we sat there on the highway, the two of us, while Lloyd, cursing softly, went down the road in search of gasoline.
Cigarette, Karen?
No, thanks, dear.
I haven't been very pleasant this weekend.
Well, we've all been a little tense lately.
More than any two people I know, I don't want you and Lloyd to be angry with me.
No, how could we? You're Margot.
And what is that? Besides something spelled out in light bulbs, I mean. Besides something called a temperament, which consists mostly of swooping about on a broomstick and screaming at the top of my voice. Infants behave the way I do, you know. They'd get drunk if they knew how. When they can't get what they want, when they feel unwanted or insecure or unloved.
What about Bill? He's in love with you.
More than anything in this world, I love Bill. And I want him to love me, but me, not Margot Channing. And if I can't tell them apart, how can he? And Karen, about Eve, I've acted pretty disgracefully toward her, too.
Well...
At best, let's say I've been oversensitive to the fact that she's so young, so feminine, and so helpless. To so many things I want to be for Bill.
Margot, I want you to know how sorry I am about this.
About what?
Getting stuck like this. I can't tell you how sorry I am.
Don't give it a thought, Karen. One of Destiny's merry pranks. After all, you didn't personally drain the gasoline tank.
What?
I said you didn't personally drain the gasoline tank.
This is Addison DeWitt. It is now my turn to tell you all about Eve. That night, with Margot Channing marooned in the country, Eve Harrington took her place on the stage. Her performance was magnificent, but one thing puzzled me. Why was I invited to that particular performance, a performance about which the management knew nothing until curtain time when Margot failed to appear? Afterwards, I went backstage. Her dressing room door was closed, but I overheard a rather interesting conversation. Eve and Bill Sampson.
You can be very proud of yourself, Eve. That was a wonderful job you did tonight. I'll admit I had my doubts.
You shouldn't have had any doubts.
You're right. With work and patience, you'll be a good actress, if that's what you want to be.
Is that what you want me to be?
Well, I'm talking about you and what you want.
So am I.
Well, what have I got to do with it?
Everything.
The names I've been called, but never Svengali. Good luck, Eve.
Don't go, Bill. Don't run away.
From what would I be running?
You're always after the truth. On stage. What about all?
I'm for it.
Then face it. Ever since that first night here in this theater.
When I told you what every young actor should know?
When you told me that whatever I became, it would be because of you.
Your makeup's a little heavy.
And for you.
You're quite a girl.
You think?
I'm in love with Margot. Hadn't you heard?
You hear all kinds of things.
I'm only human, rumors to the contrary, and I'm as curious as the next man.
Find out.
One thing. What I go after, I want to go after. I don't want it to come after me. Just score it as an incomplete forward pass.
I waited a reasonable length of time, and then I, too, had a chat with Eve. I wanted to write a column about her. There were many questions to ask.
So kind of you to stop by, Mr. DeWitt. I'm so glad you liked me tonight. But it's still Miss Channing's performance. I'm just the carbon copy you read when you can't find the original.
I've heard much about your modesty, Miss Harrington, but I find it just as false not to blow your horn at all as to blow it too loudly.
One pretty good performance by an understudy. It'll be forgotten tomorrow.
It needn't be.
Why not? I'm a nobody.
I am somebody.
You certainly are.
After you change, if you're not busy, we could have supper.
I'd love to. Or should I pretend I'm busy?
Well, let's have a minimum of pretending. I shall want to do a column about you.
I'm not even enough for a paragraph.
I've heard your story, but only in bits. Your home in Wisconsin, your tragic marriage, your fanatical attachment to Margot. It started in San Francisco, didn't it?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
What theater in San Francisco was that, Eve? Was it the Schubert?
Yes, the Schubert.
Fine old theater, the Schubert, full of dignity and traditions.
Really, if I'm ever going to change, I'd only be a moment, Mr. DeWitt.
Where would you like to go, Eve? We must make this a special night.
You take charge.
Thank you. I believe I will.
Stop saying you can't believe it, Karen. It's right here in print, isn't it? By Addison DeWitt. Listen to this. Miss Harrington had much to tell about the lamentable practice of permitting mature actresses to play roles requiring a youth and vigor of which they retain but a dim memory.
I still can't believe that Eve would
About
say
the
it.
understandable reluctance on the part of our entrenched first ladies of the stage to encourage younger actresses. About Miss Harrington's own long, unsupported struggle for the opportunity.
Eve couldn't have said anything like that.
What gets me is how all the papers in town just happened to catch that particular performance last night. The little witch must have sent out Indian runners. Well, she won't get away with it. Nor will Addison DeWitt and his poison pen. And don't try to tell me
I came as soon as I read that piece of film.
Bill, oh, thank goodness.
Margot, I ran all the way.
Oh, darling.
Bill's here, baby. Everything's all right now.
I guess at this point you and Margot might rather be alone.
Yeah, do you mind, Karen? Margot, baby. Thanks, Karen. We'll phone you later.